Welcome to my story, a story born from fear, shaped by change, and transformed by unexpected love. As you step into these words, I invite you to walk beside me through the quiet village where my life began, the place where I dreamed of becoming a teacher, where hope lived even in the simplest things. But life has a way of shifting paths, sometimes without warning, sometimes without mercy. My journey took me from warm fields to a vast mansion, from familiar voices to complete silence, nothing. Yet through this journey, you will see how strength grows in moments of fear, how loneliness can open the heart, and how kindness, even in small gestures, can change an entire life. This is not just a tale of marriage or fate. It is a story of inner courage, unexpected friendship, and the slow, gentle blooming of trust. So welcome. Welcome to my beginning, my heart, and the truth of how love found me when I least expected it. My life shifted forever, even though I did not understand it then. I grew up in a quiet village where the houses stood close together like a family, where everyone knew my name, and where my father worked the fields from sunrise to sunset, while my mother kept our small home warm with love. I had two loud younger brothers, and a small dream I found in books. My parents supported my dream as much as they could, but one evening they sat me down with heavy faces and trembling hands. My mother held my hand with a cold grip and whispered that a man named Adrian, a wealthy businessman from the city, wanted to marry me. I was only 18. I said no. But my father, with sad eyes, explained that our crops had failed, our saving offered. I felt anger, fear, and heartbreak. But in the end, I agreed, not for myself, but for my family. I never saw Adrian's face until the wedding day. I stood in a small village church, wearing the white dress my mother sewed with her tired hands. My smile was hollow. When the doors opened, a tall man in a dark suit walked in, his face serious, his eyes unreadable. That was Adrian. He did not look at me during the ceremony, and after we said, "I do," I felt like a ghost in my own body. After the wedding, I said goodbye to my crying family, and was taken away in a loud, unfamiliar city. The housekeeper, an older woman named Greta, showed me to my room, not our room, and I cried myself to sleep on the giant bed that felt colder than stone. Days turned into weeks without seeing Adrian. He left before sunrise and returned at 8 alone, wandered the hallways alone, and lived in silence so heavy that even my footsteps sounded like intruders. I felt like a prisoner in a golden cage, trapped among marble floors and extensive loneliness. My only comfort was the library, where shelves of books kept me company. One evening, Adrian walked in unexpectedly. He looked tired, and quietly offered me a poetry book he liked. It was a small gesture, but it felt like the first crack of sunlight through a dark sky. Slowly, small changes followed. I cooked meals for him, he ate them silently. I revived the dying garden, and one evening, he stopped to watch me work, telling me it had once belonged to his late mother. For the first time, I saw sadde at humanity in his eyes. We began to talk occasionally during dinners. He listened when I spoke about my village and my dream of teaching. He told me about the heavy responsibility he carried running his father's company. I realized he was lonely too, a silent man suffocated by expectations. Then, one night, terrified, I hid under my pillows until Adrian knocked softly and entered with a candle. He sat beside me and stayed until the thunder calmed, telling me stories about how he once feared storms too. In that moment, he was no longer the stranger I had married. He was someone who made me feel safe. He came home earlier. We laughed sometimes. He surprised me with a box full of books about teaching, telling me gently, "You can still follow your dream, Alara." Those words touched my heart more deeply than he could have known. I studied every day, and he asked me what I learned. I decorated the house with flowers, cooked warm meals, and filled the cold hallways with soft music. The mansion began to feel like a home, One cozy evening, we sat by the fireplace, reading in peaceful silence until I rested my head on his shoulder. He looked at me, I smiled, and he pulled me closer, whispering my name as if it was something precious. When he kissed me, it wasn't the kiss of a stranger. It was gentle, warm, and full of a blossoming love neither of us expected. In that moment, I realized my life had not ended the day I married him. It had simply begun a different path. At people beloved can grow in the most unexpected means can lead to beautiful journeys, and that sometimes life takes away your old dreams only to return them in a new surprising form. My parents said he was a good man, and they were right. Adrian became not just my husband, but my friend, my protector, and the person who helped me discover a new kind of happiness. Life may lead us through darkness, but if we keep walking, we may find a kind of love we never imagined. Just as I did. Thank you for joining this emotional journey. Just Demerdach. Elena and Adrian started their life as strangers, two people from different worlds carrying different wounds and fears. But step by step, day by day, they discovered that love does not always begin with fireworks. Sometimes it begins with quiet gestures and moments that slowly heal old scars. Their story reminds us that life often surprises us when we are brave enough to keep going, even when everything feels lost. Elena regained her dreams. Adrian found the companionship he never knew he needed, and together they built a home filled with love instead of silence. As you leave this story, remember, every ending carries a new beginning inside it. Your dreams are never truly gone. And real love can grow anywhere, even in the most unexpected places. Thank you for reading, and may your own story become just as beautiful.